Hey guys, what's up? Today I have something that I am really excited about because this is something that I've been eyeing for the past, year. Actually, you guys are already gonna know what it is because of the title of this video, so I guess there's no reason to really hype it up. So yeah, I finally did it. I bought a pair of digital FPV goggles. And I'm about to go out and try these out for the very first time. Now, this isn't gonna be a full review, maybe more of a first impressions video, but I also want this to be an introduction to the other videos that I have planned on these in the future. That doesn't mean that I'm not gonna make videos on analog anymore. I'm just excited that now I'm gonna have a better perspective, hopefully, on both the digital and analog side of things to help me make better videos for you guys. So anyways, I already have a quad set up and ready to go. So let's see what these things are capable of. All right guys, so I'm at my location where I'm gonna be flying at today. I'll maybe give you guys a quick preview so you can see it. But got this nice little mountain over here that I'll be hopefully diving down in just a bit. But I thought I'd choose something a little bit more cinematic for this flight. I just felt like it was appropriate for testing the digital system. And I don't know if it makes me boring or not, but just slow cruises over nice landscapes are probably my favorite type of FPV flying. But anyways, today for this flight, I'm gonna be using my Diatone Taycan, my Cinewup, which honestly is not the best drone for this flight, but it's also one of the only frames that I had that were able to fit the Vista unit. So I'm just making use of what I have. And to be honest, I haven't even really flown this much since I bought it. So I don't know how it's gonna fly. I don't know if it's tuned well or whether or not we're gonna see some jello, but I guess we'll find out. So in this flight, I'm just gonna test for a range, see how far I can go on the stock antennas. I don't have any patch antennas or anything like that. And also just to see the video quality. So I'm gonna start with some proximity flying, do a couple laps just close to me to make sure I don't get any video cutouts or anything like that. And then I'll slowly make my way up the mountain and hopefully get a dive from the top. So let's get into it. Now, I installed the Caddx Vista into the drone, not the full-size DJI Air unit. And the recorded video from the goggles seems to only be 720p resolution. I'm not sure if it's possible to increase that somehow, but if it isn't, that's definitely a benefit of purchasing the full-sized Air unit. I have to say, because of this lower resolution, the video you see now does not look as good as what I could see in the goggles. You also might notice that this drone is in need of some tuning. I can't remember if I messed around with its tuning in the past to cause it to fly this way, but you're going to see a lot of wobbling and shaking in this video. It's kind of a shame, but I really wanted to capture my genuine first flight with the digital system, and things don't always go as planned. Anyways, the main problem that I noticed during this flight was that my video signal didn't seem that strong at all, and you might be able to see that even when I'm flying relatively close to myself, you can see the sides of the video getting really pixelated and sometimes even lagging a bit. What I didn't realize at the time was that after I updated my DJI system, because I live outside of the US, it was automatically locked to a lower power output, which limited my distance to what you see here. Going far up the mountain would have been very risky, and I ended up temporarily going home to do some quick hacks on the goggles to unlock their full capability. I'll be making a video on that soon. When I got back, I was able to drastically increase the power output, and it made a huge difference. So, have you guys ever seen those videos of colorblind people trying on the color correcting glasses for the first time and just breaking down into tears? I won't lie, I kind of hoped that going digital for the first time would give me the same feeling.
Is this actually what it looks like?
And to be honest, it's not quite like that, but it is very impressive. I was able to see pretty much every branch on every tree. There was even a point where I flew through a spider web and I was able to see it in my goggles, which is pretty amazing because when flying analog, there are even some power lines that I'm unable to see until I'm relatively close to them. I think maybe one of the reasons why I wasn't completely blown away when I put on the goggles was because I'm so used to watching my GoPro footage after a flight that you kind of forget what analog footage looks like and it seems less impressive. I think when you play analog DVR footage back side by side with these, that's when you really realize how big of a difference they're making. Now, a few other things that I really like about these are, first of all, how user-friendly they are. I feel like anybody with no experience could just pick these up and rather quickly get a grasp of all the functions without the need to even read any instructions or watch any videos. They also allow you to make various changes like the channel that your drone is on or the power output of your video transmitter directly in the goggles. While on my current setup, I would have to go on the computer into Betaflight and make those changes there, which just adds extra steps and complicates the process, while these make it that much easier. I also really liked how after I increased the power output, I was able to fly incredibly far on just the stock antennas without having to buy any patch antennas or any other additional gear. And I gotta say, I'm also a fan of the pixelation that starts happening once you actually start losing reception, as opposed to the static that you get on analog. I just find it to be a bit less intrusive, and it just feels like a much more modern viewing experience. I did notice that my video would start to lag a little bit once my reception got really bad, and I guess that would be the equivalent of like a full screen of static on analog, where you just have no idea where you're flying. But I guess it's pretty comparable, and I haven't found it to impede my flying too much just yet. I also love the box goggle design. I just find that box goggles in general provide a more immersive experience because the screen seems bigger and it just fills your vision. That paired with the higher quality video just provide a great viewing experience. Wow. I stopped recording for a minute just to change the battery in the camera, and the storm just rolled in out of nowhere. Anyways, there was only one more thing that I wanted to say about these goggles, and that's that the overall quality and design of the DJI goggles is just really great. And I might get some backlash for saying this, but I also feel like other people have mentioned this as well. These just feel and look like a product that belongs in 2020. While now when I look at some of my other goggles and other goggles on the market, those are starting to look more like prototypes or just overall outdated now that I've tried these. And of course, that's because DJI is a huge company that can hire designers and engineers and anybody they need to create their product. But I gotta say that it's paid off. And I would definitely say that these are worth the cost. And they're most likely gonna influence the direction that the FPV hobby moves towards in the future. The only thing that I dislike about the goggles is the padding that they use. It doesn't conform to my face at all, and it feels very uncomfortable if I'm wearing it up on my forehead. I've heard from multiple people that DJI also sells foam padding that you can buy separately, which apparently feels much better and gets rid of any light leakage that you might see using these, which is great, but I just wish that they included that with the goggles as well. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna end this video before it gets too dark in this room, but I do plan on having more videos on these coming out soon, as well as just more videos in general since you guys keep asking for them. So make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay in touch. In the very least, I'd appreciate it if you hit that like button just to help me get a little bit more exposure. But I'll also add links to these down below in case you want to buy a pair of your own. If you are looking for a high-end pair of goggles, I definitely do recommend going digital. Guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks again. Peace.